Good morning, everyone. Whether you're here in person or watching at home, it's good to be with you this morning, and it's good for all of us to be together. My name is Donna Doran. I'm a UUFR member, and I was a delegate to this year's General Assembly. Our service today is centered around some of our experiences at GA. So as we gather this morning, let me start by sharing the words of our updated shared value of interdependence as adopted by the Unitarian Universalist General Assembly in June. We honor the interdependent web of all existence. We covenant to cherish Earth and all beings by creating and nurturing relationships of care and respect. With humility and reverence, we acknowledge our place in the great web of life, and we work to repair harm and damaged relationships. And now, my friends, with our hearts open to the challenges and the possibilities of this new day and this new week, with our hearts open to all that inspires, sustains, redeems, and transforms us, come, let us worship together.
This Good morning. The flaming chalice is the symbol of the Unitarian Universalist tradition, the liberal religious tradition to which this congregation belongs. Will those of you here in person please stand as you are able for our chalice lighting? If you have a chalice at home, I invite you to light it with me at this time. Please join me in reciting the words on the screen. As we kindle this flame, we recommit ourselves to nurturing the spirits of one another and the common good of the world we share. May the light of this flame be welcoming to all who seek a liberal religious home. For those of you already standing, I invite you to remain standing for our opening hymn. The opening hymn this morning is 188, Come, Come, Whoever You Are.
So, whoa, hi. In order to have balanced groups, we're going to do this in groups of, we're going to have group 1, and then we're going to have group 2, okay? Sopranos and altos are going to be group 1 over here. So if you're in this section, follow them, and you can look at Annalise and Diane. And the tenors and basses are going to be group 2, and you can follow Bill and David over there. All right. And I'll be cueing them and you. So this is a round. We're going to sing it once in unison, and then group 1 will come in. I'll cue you and sing it 2 times. Maybe we'll even do 3. I'll cut you off. Or you can sing, if you get lost, you can just sing, it happens. If you get lost, you can always sing, come yet again, come, until we all reach an ending point together. Sound good? Yeah, let's do it.
Good job. Good morning. I am Karen Jones. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm glad to serve as part of the worship team this morning. Whether you're a first-time visitor or a long-time member, I'd like to offer you a special welcome. Here at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Raleigh, we are intentionally inclusive, liberally religious, and actively serving the common good of our shared world. Whoever you are and wherever you are on your own religious journey, you are welcome here. If you're visiting us for the first time in person, I invite you to stop by the welcome stand in the foyer if you have not already done so. Fill out the visitor form, get a name tag, pick up one of our pamphlets to find out more about UUFR and Unitarian Universalism. If you're visiting online, I invite you to fill out the visitor form at www.uufr/visitor form. If you do this, you'll start receiving our weekly e-newsletter, The Chalice. While Reverend James, our lead minister, is away for several weeks of vacation and study leave, a team of lay leaders will be sharing a message with us this morning. Also this morning, Bill Devereaux, one of our lay ministers, will be available in the front right corner of the sanctuary after service to talk with anyone who might be experiencing any difficult circumstances in their lives and would like to talk to someone. I hope all of you will read through the chalice you received by email Friday with everything happening at UUFR. Our in-person social hour this morning will be downstairs in Founders Hall. I now invite you to meet and greet your neighbor. Thank you. You can continue your meeting and greeting at social hour this morning. This is the time in our service when we acknowledge some of the joys and sorrows of our community. We do this because we believe a joy shared is a joy made greater, and a sorrow shared is made easier to bear. Anyone is invited to fill out a Joys and Sorrows form on the front page of our website, The Chalice, by midnight on Saturday. Also, anyone may light a candle before the service and fill out a card so their joy or sorrow can be shared with the congregation. Anne Howe, the oldest member of our congregation, died Wednesday morning after a brief illness. She was 99. Her memorial service will be here at UUFR on October 18th, which would have been her 100th birthday. May we give thanks for Anne's life and hold in our hearts those who loved her most and will miss her most. A joy comes from Rich Breach, the Vice President of Faith Relations for Habitat for Humanity. We just love the lemonade stand from Kelly Watson. We are applying the amazing $1,320.92 to the Interfaith Builds with a soft credit for UUFR. So thank you to all of you who bought some lemonade. $1,000 of lemonade is a lot of lemonade, so thank you. I also have a joy that it is, someone has shared that it is a joy that you can once again recycle your fleas at the flea market next Saturday. And next Saturday, 8 to 12, and Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, lend a hand. And there's more information about that in the chalice. As we hold these joys and sorrows in our hearts and reflect on joys, sorrows, fears, hopes in our own lives, let's be together in stillness and silence, opening ourselves to the Spirit within us and amidst us, called by many names, but known to every human heart, that leads us to a fuller, deeper, richer experience of life. After the silence, we'll sing hymn number 123, Spirit of Life, But now, let's be together in stillness and silence. Everything we do at UUFR is only possible because of the generous financial support so many of us provide. We designate one Sunday each month as Justice Sunday, and all the money collected during our offering is given to a local or national nonprofit organization. Today is our Justice Sunday, and our Justice Council has designated the Helen Wright Center as the recipient of today's offering. Erin and Carolina Krupa will tell us a little more.
Good morning. The Helen Wright Center is an emergency shelter for single adult women experiencing homelessness. It offers safe shelter and basic needs for women experiencing homelessness and offers a structured opportunity for them to regain self-sufficiency and independence. The goal is to assist women to move from the streets to a place of their own. And recently, with the help of the innovative Bridge to Home program funded by Wake County, nearly 80 women have signed leases on apartments. This is a record achievement. I began serving at the center 2 years ago with the food security team at UUFR. We serve 60 to 75 women one Monday a month, seated at tables set with napkins and utensils, a fresh fruit or vegetable appetizer, a hot meal with protein, a salad, and a side dish, and homemade baked dessert. This isn't the usual buffet or microwave meal they're used to getting served. For me, the best part of serving is living into the UU principle of the inherent worth and dignity of every person and finding a deeper connection with this fellowship. What is provided in the offering this morning will go towards continuing to provide a homemade hot dinner with dignity by UUFR to the women at the Helen Wright Center. I started bringing my daughter Carolina with me about a year ago. This was transformative to how I view our work as UUs and even my parenting. There were lots of questions on that drive home after her first night serving. The experience was meaningful to her. It was not just the experience of serving that was beneficial. It was those very tough conversations we had in the car on the way home, and again the next morning, about race, food insecurity, shelter, employment, and families. Conversations that my family had avoided when I was her age, but that this experience had helped us both lean into and ask and answer hard questions. This experience fills our hearts and gives us way more than we give to the women. But You should hear it from her experience.
Hello, my name is Carolina Krupa. I like going to the women's shelter because I enjoy helping the women. The first time I went, I was scared. The second time I went, I was nervous, but also happy at the same time. But helping is fun. I serve the women fruit and hot dinner, but my favorite part is passing out cookies. They also love asking me for more ranch. At first, I would only serve the women if my mommy was in the dining room with me, but now I'm so comfortable that I leave the kitchen and take the food out all by myself. When I couldn't go one Monday night, I went to Miss Jude's house to make casseroles. I felt like I was still helping. I want to go back every month and was super disappointed when I had to miss going to the women's shelter on my brother's birthday. When the women are very joyful to have a hot meal. Thank you for your offering.
Thank you both so much, and thank you for being so brave. I don't know if at your age I could have gotten up here, so thank you. If you would like to contribute this morning, we invite you to bring it forward and put it in one of our offering plates. If you would prefer to have an usher come to you, please raise your hand. You may also give using one of the methods on the screen. Our offering will now be given and gratefully received.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kathy Gleditsch, and I've been a UUFR member since 2021. I served as a delegate to GA for the first time in 2022 when it was held in Portland, and I served again at the virtual meeting this past June. My reading choice is inspired by the UU value of generosity. We cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. We covenant to freely and compassionately share our faith, presence, and resources. Our generosity connects us to one another in relationships of interdependence and mutuality. My reading is taken from the New Testament book of Luke, chapter 10, verses 25 through 37. An expert in the law stood up to test Jesus. "Teacher," he said, "what must I do to inherit eternal life?" He said to him, "What is written in the law? What do you read there?" He answered, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your strength, and with all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself." And he said to him, "You've given the right answer. Do this, and you will live." But wanting to vindicate himself, he asked Jesus, "And who is my neighbor?" Jesus replied, "A man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell into the hands of robbers, who stripped him, beat him, and took off, leaving him half dead. Now by chance a priest was going down that road, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. So likewise a Levite, who when he came to the place and saw him, passed by on the other side. But a Samaritan, while traveling, came upon him, and when he saw him, he was moved with compassion. He went to him and bandaged his wounds, treating them with oil and wine. Then he put him on his own animal, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. The next day he took out 2 denarii, gave them to the innkeeper, and said, 'Take care of him, and when I come back, I will repay you whatever more you spend.' Which of these 3, do you think, was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of the robbers?" He said, "The one who showed him mercy." Jesus said to him, "Go and do likewise."
Don't give up hope. Don't give up hope. You're not alone. You're not alone. Don't you give up. Don't you give up. Keep moving on. Keep moving on. You gotta put one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other one. One foot in front of the other, one foot, and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other one. One foot in front of the other, and lead with love. Lift up your eyes. Lift up your eyes. Don't you despair. Don't you despair. Look up ahead. Look up ahead. The path is there. The path is there. You gotta put one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other one. One foot, one foot, one foot, and lead with love. You gotta put one foot, one foot, one foot in front of the other one. One foot, one foot, one foot, and lead with love. I know you're scared. I know that you're scared. And I'm scared too. And I'm scared too. But here I am. But here I am. Right next to you. Right next to you. You gotta put one foot, one foot, one foot in front of the other one. One foot in front of the other, one foot, and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other, one foot, and lead with love. One foot in front of the other, one foot, and lead with love. And lead with love. And lead with love. And lead with love.
Good morning. My name is Jerri Meisner. I have been a member of UUFR since 1980, hard to believe. Jerri and I moved away in 2007 and were active members of the UU Fellowship of Beaufort, South Carolina, until we returned to Raleigh in 2018. We had remained members of UUFR the whole time we were in Beaufort. We have attended 9 UUA General Assemblies, including the one in June. What do I like about attending GA? The fellowship, the outstanding worship services and outstanding speakers, and the lively debates. This summer, UUFR's 11 delegates to GA were Janine Berger, Donna Doran, Judy Edmonston, Kathy Gleditsch, Tom Karches, Robin Kitson, Marge Link, Jerri Meisner, myself, Larry, Sandy Pearce, and Rachel Wellens. If you all want to stand up, those of you who are here. I see Tom in the choir. The 2024 General Assembly was really momentous because after a 2-year process, we voted to revise Article 2 of our association bylaws to update our principles and sources to shared values and covenants. We had not substantially amended them for almost 40 years, even though our bylaws called for them to be reevaluated at least every 15 years. So this was a big deal. 80% of those attending General Assembly who were delegates voted for this change, including our UUFR delegates. And a lot of us felt the change was long overdue. The flower petal logo summarizes the updated core values. At the center of the flower petal is love. Then come values surrounding love, our interdependence, equity, transformation, pluralism, generosity, and justice. Much of the language in the values is the same or similar to our original principles, so they probably sound pretty familiar to you. What is added is a sentence or two of elaboration on what the value means and a new action statement or covenant of what we will do to be accountable to each other as congregations and individuals. Last Sunday, Reverend Patty Hanneman used these words about pluralism in her message. We celebrate that we are all sacred human beings in culture, experience, and theology. We covenant to learn from one another in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We embrace our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect.
Good morning. I'm Sandy Pearce. I'm a 13-year member of UUFR. I'm a member of the Board of Directors, and I was a delegate to the UUA General Assembly this year. I'm with you today in joy. I like to connect to my UU family. After attending John Manifold's celebration of life yesterday with so many of you, I feel closer to you than ever. When we sing the hymns today, look around at each other. Make eye contact. Be grateful that we are one together in this space. Well, Unitarian Universalism is a dynamic and transformational faith. Over the last 6 months, I have learned so much by engaging with the UUFR UUA task force. I've been reading and talking with people about the proposed changes to our principles and sources, and most of all, by attending my first General Assembly in June. The General Assembly was fascinating. Even if it was online, I felt part of a body of over 3,000 Unitarian Universalists. I interacted with liberal, passionate, non-conforming UUs from all over the country who spoke their truths and voted their consciences. The discussion leading up to the vote was moving, and the vast majority of delegates voted in favor of the changes, and they were endorsed by the board of the Association of Ministers. Why do I think that these changes were accepted? because the strongest voices for these changes were younger UUs and marginalized UUs who want transformation. Transformation means that we adapt to the changing world, and we covenant to collectively transform and grow spiritually and ethically. Openness to change is a fundamental part of our Unitarian and Universalist heritages. It's never complete, and it's never perfect. What transformed me at the General Assembly? Seeing more diversity in delegates and staff than I have ever seen at a UU gathering. Hearing and feeling the passion of the BIPOC and LGBTQ plus delegates as they advocated for covenantal relationships. Voting for the actions of immediate witness and resolutions affirming transgender, non-binary, intersex, and gender-diverse people as a fundamental expression of UU religious values. Learning more about the Side of Love social justice projects that UUA sponsors. Democracy, UU the Vote. Many of you are participating in that now with the many postcards that we'll be sending out. Climate justice. They sponsor networking opportunities and training for congregations. Russ Altcalt shared at one of these meetings that I attended last year. Bodily autonomy. They have created a congregational reproductive justice action guide, and they coordinate gatherings of trans and non-binary UUs on the second Friday and fourth Tuesdays of the month. And they've started an Uplift action campaign organizing for LGBTQ plus and reproductive rights, like the work of our justice ministry team here. Decriminalization. Love Resists. This is a partnership between the UU Service Committee and the UUA to stop criminalization, detention, and deportation of our neighbors. The program that I enjoyed the most was about successful shared ministries with a panel of 4 ministers and their membership professionals. Here we called it a congregational life coordinator. These women who walk the walk of sharing power and love to grow their congregations. One of these pairs was from North Carolina, from the UU community in Winston-Salem, Reverend Kayla Parker and Karen Armstrong. They are partners, co-ministers who model dismantling systems of oppression, creating intersectionality, and expanding their multicultural perspective. Why did they do it? Because it works. Ministry is shared among ministers, staff, and the congregation. Attending the General Assembly this year, I felt more like a Unitarian Universalist than I ever have.
Hi, I'm Jerri Meisner, and I want to echo the words of both Larry and Sandy. Although I have many stories I would like to tell you about GA, it all boils down to one thing. My whole feeling about myself as a Unitarian Universalist was transformed by going to GA. These gatherings of UUs are about connecting, doing business, celebrating successes and our accomplishments, grieving together, sharing wonderful worship and music, making friends, and preparing to take action. It's also a place to acknowledge mistakes and to learn to be better together and to do better together. When you are at GA, you find many connections to people who don't look like, who don't think like, and who don't believe like you. But those connections are powerful. But you don't have to believe me. Ask Marge Link. Although most people know you, Marge, would you please stand? Last year in Pittsburgh, Marge was recognized for the unique accomplishment of attending 50 consecutive GAs. And she just attended virtually her 51st. So all I want to say is, if Marge Link cannot answer your question about GA, you don't need to know it. GA 2025, from June 18th through 22nd, is going to be in Baltimore. It is my dream that we are going to rent a bus and drive to GA with our neighboring congregations. So, when you're asked to get on the bus and come and go with us to next year's GA, not just to represent our congregation, but do it for yourself. You will be glad you did. As a background, I want to give you about the Unitarian Universalist Association. It is the central organization of our 1,000 plus UU congregations throughout. The congregations are in covenant with each other. It's not a hierarchy. UUA doesn't assign ministers to congregations. The Office of Transitions will assist us next year as we begin to search and help us with that process. But in the end, the minister that comes here will be of our choosing, and we will choose among the people who also choose us, and that will be our minister. So it's a joining of congregations to covenant together. You've heard that our denomination just changed the principles and sources to values and covenants. What does this mean for us? Well, the 7 principles and sources are still in our hymn books, and we still have access to those. And the basic meaning has been preserved in the new language that we've adopted with the value statements. But the big difference is that we're adding a call to action to the belief that we're doing. UU core value and covenant of equity can be compared to the first principle. The first principle was to affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of each person. But the new value of equity is that we declare every person has a right to flourish and inherent dignity and worthiness. We covenant to use our time, wisdom, attention, and money to build and sustain fully accessible, do you hear that, John Manifold? And inclusive communities. The UU value of justice really can't be compared to a previous principle, because despite years of work by people of color and their allies, the 8th principle on anti-racism never passed at GA. Paula Cole Jones, a longtime African-American UU, an incredible woman, was not only a strong leader in the work of the 8th principle, She chaired the study commission that developed the new values and covenants. So we know that the coverage of the 8th principle is now in our national bylaws. So the justice covenant value reads, we work to be diverse, multicultural, beloved communities where all thrive. We covenant to dismantle racism and all forms of systemic oppression. We support the use of inclusive, democratic processes to make decisions. UUFR has a group of people that has been working actively to dismantle racism for a number of years. And I had a long list of things that have been accomplished, but in the interest of time, since I've talked longer than anybody, I will just say at the table downstairs, I'd be glad to share that list with you. So in conclusion, we hope that you will explore uua.org to see all of the resources that are there for education, for inspiration, and for action. We hope that you will participate in the discussions we will have at UUFR before General Assembly next year about the issues so that your voice can be heard. We hope that you will investigate what is needed to become a delegate and check the financial resources that are available. And if you are not able to attend GA in person, we hope that you might make a donation to the scholarship fund for those people who can attend to represent our congregation. Become a transformed Unitarian Universalist and spread the word. But before I sit down, I want to personally invite each and every one of you to help in welcoming everyone to UUFR on Sunday mornings. If you can smile, we want you. You can welcome people in to our doors. Stop by the welcome table today to talk to anyone or talk to anyone with a blue welcome badge to find out what opportunities await. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, I forgot. Okay. So, you got to hear this as a piece of special music. Now we get to sing it all together. So, jump in on the melody when you feel like you've got it. We'll repeat it several times. And the choir is going to sing the solo part that I sang earlier, and you're going to echo, and I'm going to help you echo. All right? So hopefully this song will stick in your head, and you'll play it over and over again in your head this week as you're going about your life, and I hope you like it. All right, let's stand. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Don't give up hope. Don't give up hope. You're not alone. You're not alone. Don't you give up. Don't you give up. Keep moving on. Keep moving on. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put is there. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. I know you're scared. I know you're scared. And I'm scared too. And I'm scared too. But here I am. But here I am. Right next to you. Right next to you. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. And lead with love. And lead with love. And lead with love.
Good morning. Excuse me. Good morning. My name is Tom Karches. I've been a member of UUFR since 1997. I'm also a member of the choir and the LGBTQIA+ Ministry Task Force, and I'm also on the board of directors. As Unitarian Universalists, we use and are inspired by sacred and secular understandings that help us live into our values. We respect the histories, contexts, and cultures in which they were created and are currently practiced. These sources ground us and sustain us in ordinary, difficult, and joyous times. Grateful for the religious ancestries we inherit and the diversity which enriches our faith, we are called to ever deepen and expand our wisdom. Please join us downstairs at coffee hour if you would like to hear more about the General Assembly we attended or the adopted values and covenants.